Peace and blessings, family. I'm your brother in the struggle, Ali. And today we're going to decipher the cipher, the February 26, 1957 Muslim Delhi prayers by Messenger Elijah Muhammad, specifically the section about washing or Wudu. The Messenger says in here, I'm reading from page number 9 on the preparation for prayers. The Muslims' daily prayers are not to be taken for ordinary rituals. You must perform your prayers with utmost sincerity. He uses mandatory language here. You must perform in utmost seriousness because they represent your communion with your Maker, Almighty Allah. To prepare yourself for the wonderful experience known as Muslims' prayer, and to bring yourself in the right spiritual mood, it is required that you perform an ablution, which is done by washing the hands to the wrists, rinsing the mouth 3 times, cleaning the inside of the nose with water 3 times, washing the face 3 times, washing the arms to the elbows 3 times. The right arm should be washed first. Wiping over the head with wet hands, wiping the ears with wet fingers, wiping around the neck with wet hands, and washing the feet, the right one first, to the ankles. In case you take a bath before you wish to perform any of the prayers, the ablution as described above is not necessary. On the other hand, in certain cases, which only your minister, or in the case of the sisters, their teacher at the temple, can best explain, mere ablution isn't sufficient, and a complete bath is required before the prayer can be performed. Now, here we have a wealth of supreme wisdom by Almighty God, Allah's Messenger, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. It is with relevance that he deputizes his ministers, on this case of the sisters teachers, or the MGT instructors, or the MGT captains, or the FOI minister, or the FOI captain, or the FOI secretary, or someone that may have a degree of knowledge that you may not possess regarding these prayers. He teaches us in the Muslim daily prayer, in the beginning, he says this to us. Let me turn this briefly. He said, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Assalamu alaikum, forward. Hear, my beloved people who believe, is the book of Muslim daily prayers I had promised some time ago to make available to you. He says, a quote from the Quran, Allah, your God and mine, says in the Holy Quran Sharif, Surah 29, or chapter 29, ayat, or verse 45, surely prayer keeps one away from indecency and evil, and certainly the remembrance of Allah is the greatest force that restrains evil. The knowledge and practice of these prayers will earn you great reward with Allah and bring you great spiritual advancement in you. By Messenger Elijah Muhammad. He says on page 4, at present it is sufficient that you learn these prayers as we have printed them here. Someday in the near future, however, you will learn them in your own language and that of your righteous foreparents, Arabic. May Allah bless you and keep you on the right path. Elijah Muhammad. The Muslims' oft-repeated prayer, the Fatiha, printed in Arabic. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Rahmanirrahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta 'alaihim ghayril maghdubi 'alaihim waladdallin. Amen. Now there's a spiritual science to this beautiful prayer, but in the Nation of Islam, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, in our lessons, he translated it with a distinction. Now, I mean, he explained to us basically the key term, master the day of judgment in which we now live, because he didn't believe in a mystery heaven or mystery prayers or a mystery Allah, God in space somewhere. So the Fatiha in this particular book is different from the translation that he gives us in our lessons. But in the book it says, in the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise is due to Allah, the Lord of the worlds, the Beneficent, the Merciful, Master the day of requital. Thee do we serve, and thee do beseech for help. Guide us on the right path, the path of those upon whom thou hast bestowed favors, not of those upon whom thy wrath is brought down, nor of those who go astray. In the revised version, he explained after we have learned these teachings, or after they have heard these teachings, or after they have learned the teachings of the Most High Elijah Muhammad. So the messenger made it his own. I mean, and it's a deep spiritual science to this Muslim daily prayer book. In future editions, we're going to make videos showing you how to call it done, how to make salat, how to perform funerals, the whole nine. I mean, in fact, I have a book, I'll say the secret reality of prayer. I mean, I have a book, I'll say Haqq, Al-Salat, the secret reality of prayer. It teaches you how to make the prayers. It teaches you how to make obligatory prayers, supererogatory prayers, all kind of different prayers. It's a whole lot of stuff that goes with the science of prayer. But I want to just freestyle, share with you some pertinent information that's very important as an FOI and MGT in the light of Messenger Elijah Muhammad's teachings. You have basically different types of washing, if you will. But you have Wudu, which is what we just described, ablution, I mean, and there's a science to it, as the message said, a symbolism to it. I mean, washing the hands. Why should we wash our hands? Because our hands commit wrong deeds. Now, I mean, we could use our hand and strike our brother. We could use our hand to shoot a brother, to stab a brother. To use our hand to smoke a cigarette, to take a sip of whiskey, to eat some poison food. Now, I mean, so our hands and our feet is washed because we can travel the crooked paths all over America, go in clubs, go in places we know we don't supposed to be. So the soul is willing and the flesh is weak, as the Bible puts it. So prayer helps us remove sin. It helps us stay balanced. It helps us reclaim and rebalance our equilibrium, the 9 forces that you always hear me talking about. The 7 dimensions. Now, I mean, the 9 forces: attraction, repulsion, cohesion, assimilation, dissimulation, creation, projection, reception, and intuition. When you're in harmony with the universal mind, or the universal force that we call energy, or we call Al-Khalliq, the creator, when you're in harmony with the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who is not a spook, but is the creator of all creation, that mind of the original man, the Asiatic black man, the maker or owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe, you have no problem submitting your will onto the ground, to submit your will to the collective will of Allah God, who came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praises due forever. You have no problem submitting your individual thoughts to the universal thoughts of Al-Khalliq, or that one creator ahead, that one creator who created all creation. We say Allah came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad. We don't say Master Fard Muhammad came in the person of Allah, because Allah is without limit. But we don't separate Master Fard Muhammad from reality, and we don't separate reality from man, because the mind of man is infinite, capable of accomplishing anything that the brain can conceive, and the spirit is subjected to us, and we're not subjected to that spirit. The messenger teaches us you don't have steam coming out of a kettle from a ghost. It's not a ghost floating out the kettle. No, it's water inside that kettle that's being heated up, or it's vibrating at such a pitch that now you have steam coming out. Now you have sound waves coming out that kettle. So it is with the spirit of Allah. If you have a bad day, you're going to have a jinn. You're going to have a negative spirit. You're going to have a sad or depressed spirit. Now, I mean, you got bills to pay. You sick. You don't have good health. You lost the house. You lost the car. You lost your job. There was a death in the family. There's a negative spirit there. Not an evil spirit, not a ghostly spirit, but the brain is thinking on a negative plane of thought. But if you was to vibrate that, now I mean, to go to awake and, now I mean, be blessed to realize that, you know what I mean, you still have other living family and friends, that you may have lost your arm but you still got both your legs. You may have lost an eye, but you still got an eye. You know what I mean? So when it comes to wudu, there's nothing spooky. A lot of people make it like, oh, you got to do this. It's far. It's obligatory. It's like, come on with the spooky stuff. Think for a second. On Allah's green earth, covering 196,940,000 square miles, you can't just tell everybody you got to make wudu. If you don't make wudu, you're not a true Muslim. You're not practicing righteousness. And here is a man that, I'm using this hypothetically, just to give you some principles of thought to make you think outside the box. Here's a man, say a father had to run in a burning house to save his daughter. And when he ran inside that burning house, the door was on fire, and he had to knock that door down. And in the process of knocking that door down, he burnt his hands up. He burnt his hands up so bad that the doctor had to amputate him. And he saved his daughter's life. When he makes salat, he can't wash his hands. He don't have no hands. Is he a sinner because he didn't make wudu? Is he a sinner because he got shot in the ear and lost his ear and he can't wash his ears? Does that mean that he can't hear Allah's prayer? Come on with the spooky stuff. Now, I mean, the rituals don't take the place of the substance or the meaning behind the rituals. And you could be paralyzed sitting in a wheelchair and you have the 1000% same love and faith as any other believer in the Nation of Islam or outside the Nation of Islam for that matter. Now, I mean, so we have to get the spooky stuff about these rituals and languages out of us. Now, I mean, there's nothing spooky in Islam. Everything is mathematics. Islam is mathematics, and mathematics is Islam according to Messenger Elijah Muhammad's teachings. Now, I mean, so we have wudu, now, I mean, which is the washing before the prayer. But sometimes you have situations where, you know, say you just went to the bathroom, you urinated or you defecated. Now, I mean, you know, you want to, you know, you have other things. You have, you know, extinguisher. You want to make a brief washing. You don't wash your head. You don't wash your feet. If you went inside a restaurant and you ate some food and you urinated in the toilet, you're not going to take your shoes off and make wudu inside the public bathroom, but you can take and wet some toilet paper and cleanse your privacy. You can't make a extinguisher. Now, I mean, you know, you can't clean the toilet seat off if you're going to sit on it. Now, I mean, you can still use hygiene because purity is half the faith according to the prophet. Now, I mean, so the Honorable Elijah Muhammad teaches us these sciences. Now, I mean, you have Tayammum. What if you was in the desert, you didn't have no water? Say the water pipe broke and you didn't have no water and it's time for prayer. You can make a dry washing. You can use sand. You can use wool. You can use any natural substance, clay, the regular earth of your backyard if you had to. If you didn't have nothing to touch, you could use your bare skin. Anything that's natural, you could wash with that natural substance. Now, I mean, and in the major case, now, I mean, you want to make ghusl or take a complete shower or bath. I prefer a shower. Some people like baths. Now, I mean, but if you're going to a funeral, if you coming from surgery, you had a disease or something of that nature, you want to make a complete bath. Now, because the washing wouldn't be sufficient to purify the temple or the body to perform those prayers or to make your salat. Now, I mean, so we're going to go deeper into these rituals and what these rituals mean according to the life-giving teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Send your questions to ministeralif@gmail.com. Peace and blessings, family. The struggle continues.